Hey, Mr. Parka here to do an update. First, I want to address some things. Me, Dustin Mills, and Brandon Salkill have done a podcast. It's Shut Up Brandon. Check it out on iTunes and Podbeam and Facebook. It's all there. There's 9 episodes right now, all uploaded, all ready to go. We talk about movies, comic books, make a bunch of mistakes, spoil a lot of movies, have a lot of laughs, do a lot of stupid stuff. It is explicit in language, and so if it sounds like something you'd like, I focused a lot more of my recent watches and stuff like that on the podcast instead. It's just a lot easier that way for me to, and it also gives me time to hang out with my buddies and talk about movies. It's a lot of fun. We talk about a lot of the same things at times, and I think people enjoy it. But now that I got that off my chest, and so there'll be a link below. Check it out. I'm going to start with the Blu-rays. I got Der Samurai, which is Artsploitation Blu-ray, and people have brought this to my attention that they actually are doing these on Blu-ray, burned Blu-rays, which I really don't have much of a problem with. They came factory sealed and everything like that. But yeah, if you guys are looking for it, it is a burned Blu-ray disc. I have not a chance to watch this movie, so there we go. Then we have Scarecrows by Scream Factory. I'll keep it back here, that way it will keep off the glare a little bit. Well, maybe I can avoid the glare. But anyways, if you guys are familiar with this movie, it's a lot of fun. Late 80s, early 90s horror film. I think it was 88 actually. And I haven't seen that in a long time, not since the days of the DVD being released. I used to have an old VHS of it as well. MGM released the DVD, and I can't think who did the VHS. It wasn't a big company, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I haven't got a chance to check out the print. That's a fun slasher, weird movie about these guys who get stranded in this cornfield, and all these, they're robbing a bank, and they jump parachute from it, I believe, and all the scarecrows in the area come to life and start killing them. Pretty cool. A lot of good atmosphere. We have Sleepaway Camp 2, which I always thought was fun. Not as the first one's a little bit more serious than these ones, but the VHS covers of these ones and stuff, the posters were always so very memorable. But that's Sleepaway Camp 2. It's been a long time since I've watched that one. And Sleepaway Camp 3, which I actually really enjoyed this one. A lot of people don't like this one as much. I think the kill count in 2 is so high. It was like 21. Yeah, she's back to Slash last year's record. Well, she doesn't make it. I remember the tagline on this one. Yeah, but this one's kind of like Ticks with the kids, all these obnoxious, stereotypical kids getting whacked off. And that was way before, back in the day when that was so common in slasher movies. I mean, it was common, but now it's in every slasher movie. It's the stereotypical kids that all fit this certain mold, and yeah, it gets annoying and trite and cheap. But sometimes it works, and I think it works in 3. Some people will disagree with me, and they're probably right. But we have Extraterrestrial, which is IFC Midnight teamed up with Scream Factory, so they're releasing some stuff, which I think is pretty cool. Then we have From a Whisper to a Scream. I love this movie. It's a horror anthology with Vincent Price and Clu Gallagher and who else is Cameron Mitchell and stuff like that. My favorite story is obviously, what is the one called? Daddy? What is it called? I'll check it out on the back. I can't remember. Stanley. It's called Stanley. And that one's really entertaining, and it freaked me out as a kid. Traumatized me, to be honest. The little creature that was bred from necrophilia. But anyways, yeah, all the stories are actually pretty solid in here. I'd say the circus one's the weakest. It's Jeff Burr movie, underrated director. Really cool anthology. If you like anthologies, check that one out. I remember all the stories in there except the circus one when I rewatched it. Once Upon a Time in the West by Sergio Leone. I love this movie. It's a great film. One day I remember I was like 7 or 8 and I stayed home sick from school. I had like a stomach flu and it was on TV, and this movie's like 2.5 hours long, but on television it's like 4. I just watched it all day eating soup. But yeah, I rewatched this recently. Love the movie. This is probably my favorite Sergio Leone movie, but I've never seen Duck Sucker. Or I haven't seen Once Upon a Time in America in years. Literally a very, very long time. But Once Upon a Time in the West has Charles Bronson, Jason Robards, Henry Fonda in it. And what I really like in this movie, there's a great line that I love in there. There's this guy like, you can trust me, to Henry Fonda's character, and Henry Fonda looks over at him and says, how can I trust you? How can I trust a man with suspenders and a belt? Your pants don't even trust you. And it's just a really, really funny, great line. Great music, great flashback. Really enjoy the movie. It's one of Leone's best. And then we have Duck You Sucker with James Colburn, a.k.a. Fistful, the Dynamite, and Rud Streiner. Not seen this one. Looking forward to watching a spaghetti western. And we have Horsehead, the 2-disc collector's edition, and this is actually the one that is from Canada, from Black Fawn, and they release some interesting stuff for sure. The Artsploitation's released in the United States Blu-ray, but I picked this one up. I've not watched it yet. It looks interesting. I finally got Madman by Vinegar Syndrome. This is a classic 81 slasher movie. Do enjoy this one. Cool stuff. It's been a while since I watched it though. Madman Mars, kind of a very memorable movie. The documentary Cropsy was based off that, and The Burning. But then we have Cannibal Ferox. Haven't got a chance to watch this Blu-ray yet, but this is Grindhouse releasing. Really love this movie. I know it is, the animal violence. I'm not keen on it, but it was a different time. I don't really want to get into it. Talked about it a lot in reviews and things like that. But this is a Alberto Lenzi movie. He did 2 more jungle adventure movies as well. Man from Deep River, aka Deep River Savages, and he did the other one, Eaten Alive, with I believe Robert Kerman's in that one, who was in Cannibal Holocaust and stuff like that, and Cannibal Ferox. He's in this one. So yeah, we got lots of the same actors in those movies, and I always enjoyed that one. It is cheesier and campier than Cannibal Holocaust, even though it has real animal killings. It is goofier in there, and Giovanni Ribisi is great in it. I love him in that movie. But then we have Society, which is the Arrow release. I picked this up. Love this movie. Brian Yunza movie. I have not a chance to look at all the stuff in this release, but me and Brandon Salkiel did a review for the Arrow disc that just went the disc before, but I picked this one up. Great movie. Finally good to see it on Blu-ray in the States here. And then we have some quick, just some screener copies I'll just talk about in case people don't watch the reviews. Dr. Jekyll and Ms. Osbourne. Crazy movie by, what's the guy who did the Beast? Really weird, surreal, sexual Dr. Jekyll fantasy type deal. Contamination, Italian, cheesy, gory alien movie with exploding eggs that explode people's stomachs. Spiderbaby, classic Jack Hill movie with Lon Chaney Jr.'s last role and one of Sid Haig's first roles, so it's that crossover of the horror icons. Really cool movie, really awesome. Really, I think went on to inspire a lot of other films. Then we have Island of Death. This is a great movie by Nico Maskarakis. Hope I said his name right. Video nasty movie about a couple who goes on this isolated Greek island and just start killing people in horrible, violent ways, and they're big hypocrites. That's all I'm going to say. Let Us Pray. Have not got a chance to watch this one. This one looks pretty cool. What else we got? Spring. Went to the Best Buy and picked up the Blu-ray of Spring. What else we got? Everly by Joe Lynch. Heard about this on the Movie Crypt podcast, among other things, and it has Salma Hayek in it. Really, really cool action movie. Really enjoyed it. Lots of cool camera tricks. The whole movie takes place in one room, and she fights all these different baddies, and the baddies keep getting more ridiculous as the movie progresses. And it's a lot of fun. Really cool stuff. We have Poltergeist 2 and 3. I'm a big fan of Poltergeist 3. I grew up with it. It's probably mostly nostalgia why I like it, but I really enjoyed it. I thought the big cold hotel or apartment or with that giant complex with all the stuff in it, the mall and everything was really, really creepy and scary. And I think that the whole window washer scene, and he looks up Kane, and he's looking for Carol Ann. And he has he's normal, and then when it goes down, he looks up. He's all creepy. The playing with mirrors is awesome in this movie as well. And this is the first time I watched this movie that I realized how much I liked the doctor, the psychiatrist character. I hated him as a kid. Me and my mom he's a jerk. And that's just typical kid thought. And the movie wants you to dislike him, but I think so. But in a lot of ways, he's almost a little practical. This is ridiculous. And it just kind of cracks me up through it. Poltergeist 2 never really cared for as a kid. I wanted to revisit it because of crazy special effects and things like that. And I was trying to watch it. I just couldn't get into it as much. It's been forever since I watched 1. Wolfcop. It's been a while since I updated. Wolfcop, talked about that, reviewed it. Not the hugest fan of it, but some cool special effects. Lost River. Wanted to watch this one for a while. This is Ryan Gosling's directed movie. I heard it's pretty crazy, pretty different, pretty weird. And I'm all about that. The Drownsman. Don't hear too many positive things about this, but I got it anyway, so there it is. Beautiful People, which I think I already talked about in the podcast. A lot of these I actually talked about in the podcast. I must have left this in the Blu-ray player. It's been a long time. But this movie is semi-decent, about a home invasion movie, but there's a twist to it, kind of like The Real Killers, The Killers by Mike Mendez. I really enjoy the lead villain in this. He's great, but after that, I'm kind of iffy on the whole movie. I think the lead villain's great. I think the setup's great, and I think there's a couple scenes in there that really hurt the movie. But that is Beautiful People. Joe, with Nicolas Cage being a weirdo. I haven't watched it. Wicker Tree. These weren't $5. I think I got them for $3. Or something like that. Wicker Tree, they were dirt cheap. I got a deal on them. I haven't watched that. I haven't heard good things about that. And Satan's Blade by Olive. This is the first time that Slasher Studios and Olive teamed up, and they'll be releasing other stuff. But Satan's Blade is kind of like a old slasher movie, only released on VHS, and I watched it. It's not great, but it is interesting, especially for that old kind of slasher movie. And it is kind of bizarre. There's a really weird interview with the director on there. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's kind of bizarre shot. let me go into the one VHS. My buddy Ryan Logston, who's one of my good friends, director of Agony, sent me this. I bought it. He picked it up for me. I paid for it. Cannibal Terror for Massacre Video. Really love Massacre Video's tapes, and Cannibal Terror is not such a great movie. He uses white British guys as cannibals. It's supposed to be like tribal cannibals. And also got Ryan Logston's first film, Agony, which is a pretty cool movie on there. Actually enjoyed this, kind of weird. I think Cage's quote on here really much sums it up. Gummo, what is it, teamed up? Oh, Gummo and If August Underground got tag teamed by Inland Empire and Gummo. And it's a pretty crazy movie. But then we have this little screener here. I'm just going to talk about Teenage Slumber Party Nightmare by Richard Mogg. Wasn't a huge fan of this. If you want to check out the review, you can. American Nightmare, Slough, Hampshire. Reviewed this one. Pretty crazy movie. A mixed bag for me, but it is really bizarre and crazy and ambitious, and there's lots of disturbing kind of horrible stuff going on in there that I think people will like or be interested in if you're into extreme films. The House with 100 Eyes. Sorry, getting this confused with The Night of a Thousand Cats. But anyways, this is an exploitation movie. I have not got a chance to watch this one. That is House of 100 Eyes. I got all these for $1 a piece, so don't disregard the price at what was it, a Family Video or something. The Final Prayer. Heard this one was interesting. I think it's an Irish movie. Death Row Painkiller. I think this might be the second copy I got of this, but I couldn't pass it up for $1. I needed like 2 10 for 10s. Camel Spiders. Midnight Game. Patrick. What is this? Patrick Evil Awakens. It's supposed to be a remake of Patrick. The Shadow Walkers. This is stuff I probably should be buying this many in bulk. Alter. True Legend. I mean, for $1, I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I was in a shopping spree. Dark Room. What else we got? Never Lake. Zombie World. There we go. The Ritual. Like I said, I'm just going through these really quick. This might be my second copy of Grand Piano as well. I can't remember if I have Open Window and Grand Piano. Which one? Oculus, rental. I actually really kind of like this movie. It was on Netflix, so, and I think a rental copy. I don't need the special features for that. It's a pretty cool movie. Feed the Gods. This looked interesting enough, but I don't hear many good things about it. Zombienator. Got this for $1. Patrick Kilpatrick's in it. Love him, but also my buddy Cage, Keith Floyd Jr. has a small role in it as a zombie. Primitive. This guy looks crazy on the back. Look at him. VHS Viral. I got this. I got this to review, and I never got to see the extra deleted segment on there, so I was interested in it. And it was like $1, so not a horrible one. I think it's better than 1. I don't think it's as good as 2. The Mule. See No Evil 2. Interested in that. Reviewed this one. Exile. Pretty crazy, weird movie. Kind of feels like kind of like a teen drama, but has really twisted stuff in it. Evil in the Woods for Massacre Video. Ooh, still good, still good. I've not got a chance to watch this. I have the VHS of that. Spine, shot on video movie I never got to see. Interested in that as well. What is this? Infidus. What am I doing? Infidus. I guess that's how you say it, or Infidus. Oh yeah, Infidus. But this is the guys who did Necrostorm movies, and I guess there's Real Criminals as the stars. I'm curious about that. And Science Team, which is by the guys who did The Taint, which I really like The Taint. This one I thought was alright. And last but certainly not least, it's probably a made-on-demand movie, but this is supposed to be the director's cut. I have the VHS of it. It's on Amazon still, the director's cut DVD of The Beasties. I love little creature movies. This is not a good one. I don't remember it being very good, but it's been so long since I've seen it. I mean, director's cut's cut off at the top, so I don't know how quality this edition is actually going to be. But that's my update. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I guess I'll talk about this now. There's going to be probably less videos because I'm getting busier, and there's probably going to be less updates. I'm not going to be buying as much stuff because I'm trying to get priorities set straight. I kind of want to take my life in a different direction, and not so much I'll still be doing updates and DVDs. I just won't have as much to talk about as far as owning things. So and it's just that I need to focus on my money on other things and maybe be a little poor to make some of my goals come true. But I have that's pretty much it. But thank you guys very much for watching, and the videos will keep coming. They just won't be as as many, and it won't be as many updates and things like that. More so just reviews. But check out the podcast if you want to actually, if the videos aren't enough and you want to hear us talk about movies or not. But Mr. Parka, thank you very much. Have a good one.